All right. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everybody. Here we go again. Thursday's trading. And yeah, starting with the long open session. So this is where we are at. Nonetheless, later today at 8:30 and 10 a.m. some high impact to medium impact news events. We'll see what that will bring, but based on the calendar, most of the volatility would be expected during the pre-market to the morning session, I assume. Yes, going forward. Hello, Candy. Good morning, welcome. Now let's do the pre-market analysis based on what we have. So as you can see, price did dipped into this new week opening up. It failed to reach the consecutive encroachment so far, as it is. And it cleared the sell side liquidity below this low and this low, while leaving relatively smooth buy side on the other hand. One thing that caught my attention in here is the CB right here. That's the last CB before running the sell side liquidity here, and it's pretty nice and obvious. and pronounced, including the volume imbalance there. So this CB went above it. So now it has a chance, reasonable chance, to act as a potential bullish inversion fair value gap. And I assume that's the characteristic that I will be studying first. That's a characteristic that I will be studying first, going into the London Open Silver Bullet hour. Interesting fact, it's also overlapping with the new week opening up high. So it makes it a really high probability fair value gap after all. And yeah, if we would see higher prices, this makes the most sense. The upper half of this inefficiency makes the most sense to present that. So we'll see what we get with that. Yeah, looking at this, I'm personally a little bit unsure what should I expect in terms of a bias, whether all-time high continuation versus a deeper retracement at this moment. This move lower looks a little bit sloppy, a little bit consolidated to some degree. And I mean, I suppose all-time highs is like reasonably good blind call if price shows any support to it or any ideas that would support to it. And here so far it potentially does, so we'll see. But yeah, we are already inside the new week opening up. We traded to it, therefore we might be trading away from it, especially on ES, which has a really smooth relative equal highs. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. 1 minute chart in here, nice buy sell liquidity pull up there in terms of relative equal highs. Good morning, Mr. DC Leon. Greetings from Berlin. Long time no see. Yeah, I remember you, my friend. I remember you, my friend. You are an OG viewer. You were there during my first attempt with streaming years ago at this moment. So nice to see you, nonetheless. Nice to see you. And yeah, so 1 minute chart. I like the buy sell liquidity here. That's very equal and smooth. But at the same time, the lows are kinda smooth too, which I like a little bit less. But as long as price will find any support inside of the upper half of this 15-minute inversion fair value gap, I guess, or I suppose that shouldn't be like a worry or factor. So we'll see how it goes. And let's see the Nasdaq 15-minute. All right, so Nasdaq 15-minute. Nasdaq has the sell liquidity in here and the new week opening gap still open. So Nasdaq clearly may want to be reaching towards that still. Nasdaq has respectively same inefficiency in here, potential inversion. But on Nasdaq, the issue is that the price left the sell side here still very, very close to it. But nonetheless, I would assume that some measure of premium pricing being reached first would be still reasonable, I guess. Yeah, so we had this sharp run here, displacement, nice trade into it, traded lower. Yeah, I mean, that's per se, that doesn't necessarily look very bullish. I have to admit that. So maybe actually the sell side and the new week opening up here is more prompt to be the draw, especially on Nasdaq. I feel like. So yeah, 2 last days I was a little bit off with my idea. I mean, the first day on Tuesday I was correct about the draw and the bias, but I just changed mind midway. So eventually I was incorrect on changing my mind. But then yesterday I was completely incorrect about the bias because I was expecting higher prices where lower was the ultimate delivery. So I was just offside. I was just wrong. And today I don't feel very, very, very confident in what I should expect. I am a little bit 50-50. I like a little bit this and that. So that doesn't make me feel very, very comfortable engaging with price while having a iffy idea in mind. So yeah, this is what it is. I'm speaking my mind. I'm telling you what I feel, how I feel about looking at the price action in here, and yeah, it's like, yes, I like, or I would like to see some measure of upside in here, especially on ES, because it took sell side here while Nasdaq failed to take sell side there, and we traded to the new week opening up already and failed to reach consecutive encroachment. So that's bullish. And we have this inversion here on 15-minute. So if this is respected well in the upper half, that's bullish also. And then we have nice ratifical highs here and here and here. So that kind of makes, I suppose, the biggest sense for me at this moment and at this session. So if I were to go with an idea, I guess that's the idea that I would like to go with. But yeah, I don't want to necessarily, force anything. So I suppose tape reading the initial London Open here will be my best go-to idea. And then if something clears out along the way, I can always look to engage it. But yeah, at the same time, I just don't want to be taking gambles, if I don't feel like I'm very in sync with the marketplace and what it wants to do. And that's how I feel today going into this session. So yeah, 3 a.m. we start. and we'll see what we get. Yeah, I can even use remove like this double view, double chart on 1 minute Nasdaq and ES. So I can have like tape reading experience on both at the same time. That's like a cheat. That's like cheating a little bit, right? Getting experience of two assets at the same time. But yeah, that's how I feel. It's that's how I supposed to be doing this session. I feel like so I can like get a better feel for price and get a better idea, and then hopefully make a better decision in regards to any trades taken. So yeah, it's not like I'm afraid of taking a loss, right? It's more like I just don't want to take a loss that's unnecessary in terms of like not feeling, not believing in the idea what price should do and still trading, right? And that's something that I will have to deal with today, tomorrow. And we'll see how it will go, right? We'll see how it will go. Still 2 bullets left for this week. And that's cool. That's great. So yeah. So right away we can see that ES made a higher high here. Nasdaq failed to do so. At least at this moment. At least right now. Yeah, I mean, the sell side liquidity on Nasdaq is pretty smooth, while the highs are pretty jagged. While on the ES, the highs are pretty smooth, but the sell side is pretty jagged. So that's a little bit of conundrum here. A little bit of tricky flavor added to the mix. Both taken old highs too. But yeah, seems like the Nasdaq may want to be dipping slightly lower still. We'll see. I guess I can use 5-minute chart here on ES for a more universal perspective, but yeah, so far we tapped into this bullish inversion for value gap on 15-minute, and we run away. That's not necessarily like a big displacement, but yeah, it moved away. It moved away. There is no real foothold that I like inside of this price action at all. So it would need to create or form some measure of foothold, I suppose, on its own. All right, so we have a Bessie here. That's the last Bessie before running this high. Same on Nasdaq and on ES. Nasdaq respected the upper half a little bit better here. ES a little bit wonky, trading deeper into it, but eventually trading off of the low of that little inefficiency. But yeah, right away, as we are making a higher high here, lots of sell-side liquidity will be resting right there, I feel like. So yeah, I'm annotating respective the same inefficiencies on both ES and Nasdaq. And Nasdaq not only couldn't even trade to this one and left open this one, while ES traded to the high of this one and deeper into this one. So a relative weakness in the delivery is on the side of ES, kinda. A little bit suspect. Nasdaq a little bit stronger in comparison, I suppose. There is a little premium for value gap right there. Well, both ES and Nasdaq on the hourly chart. So respectively, that's this inefficiency, and we are very close to touching into it, trading into it. And that's a premium array. All right, ES is already trading into this. It's busy, while Nasdaq has still a little bit of room before it trades to it. So yeah, ES looks weaker, kinda, right? Doesn't it? It looks kinda weaker. So let's see. let's see what we'll get. But yeah, maybe if we could start inversing some fair value gaps here, that would have been interesting. But yeah, for now, just let's see, let's watch. But yeah, ES came back inside of this busy for the second time, and it closed below the consecutive encroachment 2 for the second time. That's really not showing strength to the upside. So yeah, also what we are dealing with is the fact that the Asian session had a directional protraction lower in here, right? It was a pretty nice, quick, one-sided directional price run during Asia. So now going into the London, it's a little bit trickier. So far we are retracing back into this protraction, and that's fine. That's fine. Looking for potential rollover, right? And eventually attacking the sell side here on ES especially. I mean on Nasdaq especially. That's something that I guess kind of makes sense. But yeah, at the same time we'll see. So yeah, on Nasdaq definitely it's hard for me to justify any significant bullishness at this moment. On ES, I could, I guess, argue a little bit more, but still, that's not super bullish at all too. And yeah, the dollar index, what we see on the dollar index, we traded above this consolidation high, and now we are tracing back into this new week opening up. So we'll see if we see some measure of support here and dollar trading higher, then lower prices on indices should be easy to obtain, I guess. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Nasdaq has a little fair value gap here, but ES don't necessarily has. I mean, there is a small little less than one handle separation, so that's not necessarily enough for my liking, I suppose. Yeah, and keep in mind that both ES and Nasdaq have very smooth relative close too. So maybe that's more prompt to be the draw. I'm still reading the tape and trying to decipher that so the price can tell me what it wants to do, giving it that opportunity. So yeah, ES is already spending a lot of time inside of this area in here. Nasdaq is hanging a little bit stronger. All right, so yeah, I'm still spending a lot of time inside of this on ES. Nasdaq tapping into this, it's higher inefficiency in here again. So let's see what it can do with it. But yeah, ES already showing signatures to be careful with it. Nasdaq shows relative strength and potential that if it's gonna go higher, Nasdaq should deliver cleaner, but still still a little bit tricky. But near term looks like both indices are seeking this premium 1 hour bearish fair value gap. And how we trade there will tell whether we will roll over or maybe go above it and maybe attack the buy side here. All right. So I'll copy this. No, it doesn't work like this. All right. Fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, yes, still spending time inside this inefficiency here, while Nasdaq is presenting a little bit cleaner, a little bit stronger price action. But preferably would like to see like symmetrical price runs on both ES and Nasdaq. So when ES is making a return into a fair value gap, it should react out of it same as Nasdaq does and stuff like this. We're not seeing that necessarily at this moment. Right, so Nasdaq made a higher high on the bodies in here. Yes, could not do that and still stuck inside this BC. All right, so another return on Nasdaq into this fair value gap, and yes, still standing inside of it with the bodies. But yeah, that's like a nothing burger signature in here. Don't touch me. Type of thing. Well, pretty slow London Open so far, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So far, it's kind of like tricking. I feel like it's tricking that is bullish because it broke above this high. This is like a bull flag. Same on Nasdaq. That's like a bull flag. So it should trade higher or keep on going higher. Sure, Leon. The face is noted in the left upper corner, and that's P1. That's phase 1. Still, the phase 1. This is the. I mean, we are 2.5 weeks into it, and I'm using the lucid trading flex 50k account for this first stage challenge. I mean, for the first evaluation, and that's the first attempt of trying to pass one. Still fighting, nonetheless. Still fighting. And yeah, besides that, fun fact, I started the series with 4 losses in a row, for losing days in a row. Then last week I recouped 4 W's in a row. And this week so far I'm a little bit losing my sync with the marketplace and took 2 losing trades already. Still 2 days to go, so we'll see, maybe I can recoup it and go behind that, but yeah, so far I'm trying to read the price to get more intel about what to do, but yeah, so far it doesn't necessarily look like it wants to do much at all in here. So yeah, staying careful. But yeah, this challenge is more long term by default. I'm not trying to gamble on the evals on stuff like this and just to pass them and blow like 20 accounts in the process. I'm trying to do it the right way, using one account, one strategy, one model, and everything that I do inside of the series is live streamed. I don't do anything off camera, so that's also yeah, how the progress is documented in here. So we'll see. I'm giving myself like the 3 months. 3 months is like a good measuring point, and we'll see where I will be after those 3 months in the with the progression of this whole endeavor. But yeah, the goal number one of the series is to sharpen the process and the decision making at all times, and the results should come naturally with that. So yeah. Yeah, I see. Well, what can I say? If it's gonna take me same or longer, then I'm here for it. If I'm gonna get it quicker, then I'm also glad. I mean, the thing is about the model that I'm using right now, that I technically really need like 3 winning days with my max leverage to get it. Yeah, at this point, technically, if I win one and then I go to my full leverage again, so 2 more days and I'm almost done with it, pretty much. Like, I'd be lacking like 150 bucks or so. So yeah, technically not much is required, but still the little details make the difference always. So yeah. but at the same time, worst case, I can just, if I blow it, let's say, I will just start another one and add this first one to the costs. Yeah, I mean, I'm having technically like constant percent risk per trade, yes, but I do reduce it after a loss, right? So my max leverage is 1% of this account, but if I take a loss, then I reduce it to 0.5%, right? So technically max risk is $500, but if I take a loss, then I reduce it to 250. So at this moment today, I'm at that 250 risk because I have taken 2 losing trades already, right? So this is how I manage the risk, but I'm also aiming for 1 to 2 always. So so yeah, one win can recoup a big chunk of the loss. All right. All right. So both Nasdaq and ES are doing pretty much nothing in here so far in terms of any precision or price swings that could be measured by any means. This is just pure consolidation, pure time distortion here. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. So yeah, also keeping it all very positive, positively minded is very very important, and it's also like some measure of work uh, of this process to not get the negativity in your mind, because yeah, adversities will always be there. Adversities will always be there. Session like this will always be there when you will want to, recoup drawdown or take a trade, and then you face price action like we see right now. And what are you gonna do, right? If you take it personally, if you go about it with negative mindset, that yeah, it's like going against you on purpose, right? It's hunting you for some reason. Then obviously it's making it way harder to think about it long term, to think about it in terms of process, following rules and stuff like that. So this is also like a journey on that side, on that part of the coin. So yeah, overall this whole series should lead to a greater understanding of not only the markets but myself too, which is already a huge benefit. And yeah, plus it might be a fun experience to watch that type of endeavor, because frankly I don't think that anyone else did it this way. Uh, so so yeah, might be cool, and might be fun looking back after like 90 days, and where all of this will be at. So quite frankly, we started putting some closing prices below this PC on ES. Nasdaq is still hanging, reluctant to move at all. So yeah, we are already post 330 and not much is happening, but yeah, this on Nasdaq looks like a bull flag in here a lot. After we've taken relative equal highs buy side technically. So let's see. Usually if that's like a false bull flag, this fair value gap in here will become an inversion, but we'll see. I like the sell side liquidity here at 250. That's like a very obvious little low in here, that after we broke above this high in here into those highs, all of the sell side will be jammed below this low, I feel like. Uh, Respectively here on ES, but that's way smaller of a range on ES, I suppose. But yeah, because we closed below it here already a few times, I'll change the color to potential bearish inversion for the value gap in here on ES. Nasdaq obviously doesn't present that to us. It's being held above it. So there is some measure of like decoupling to some degree. I mean, I wouldn't be like too hoped that it's decoupled now, but it's showing that it's not symmetrical, or not ideally symmetrical in terms of the respective PD arrays. But yeah, this already is showing that the price action is being pretty sloppy so far. So yeah, still 20 minutes to go. Maybe the 350 macro will be a catalyst for a price run to unfold. So we'll see, but yeah, nothing necessarily that I'm worried about in here. I like the sell side here for ES, and I like the respective sell side here for Nasdaq as a potential draw at this moment. But yeah, we'll see what we get. Yeah, I mean, so far it looks really like a poor technical session, which I assume that's reasonable after this protraction overnight during Asia. I mean, Asia covered a lot of ground. Asia had a price run actually. That was a run on liquidity into this new week opening gap. So now we are facing a little bit of adversity in that regard. So yeah, I guess it is what it is. And that's something that I have to manage correctly too. And not make a blunder for no reason. So yeah. Yes, furthermore, staying in the lower half of this, treating this as somewhat of an inversion so far. Still being sloppy, so I don't pay too much attention to it, but that's what I'm noting. Nasdaq so far holds the upper half of this fair value gap nicely, and that's a higher fair value gap respectively to this one still. So yeah, Nasdaq is definitely showing a little bit more strength in regards to ES. But that's what we identified right away with this inefficiency here. And this inefficiency there lower, right? Nasdaq was just showing more strength to the upside, while ES was a little bit more sloppy in here, I would say. But yeah, so far Nasdaq formed a beautiful little consolidation in here. So we'll see what we got. Relative equal highs, relative equal lows. But yeah, so far there was really no opportunity for me to trade this really. Like whatever I would do, I would just get chopped out pretty much. So glad that I didn't touch it. And yeah, I'm glad that going into the session, I said that I don't necessarily know what it wants to do. And this looks like the market doesn't necessarily know itself too. So that's I guess cool. But yeah. So also thinking in terms of like the fact that Asia had this large range price run that was one-sided, and the fact that we have all of the news planned and scheduled for later today for the New York session. And that doesn't, all of that doesn't really bound very well for the London Open here to perform anyhow with large ranges, I suppose. So yeah. Still banging around inside this consolidation. ES traded to the high of this inversion and rejected that quickly. So that's interesting in here. That's interesting in here. If it were good, it should be continuing towards this low in here. But because it spent so much time inside of it already, I don't have the courage to trust it this way. So I'll just observe, I guess. All right, both formed small little SIBIs, both ES and Nasdaq in here. So that might be a sign that some measure of move might be happening here. ES obviously has very close or very small in terms of range to grab this low. Nasdaq is breaking too. All right. So maybe there will be some game on for the macro in here. So because of this whole consolidation that we broke lower out of it, this should stay as a breakaway gap in here. Price should not want to come back to it. And I have similar idea for ES. So Nasdaq potentially inversed this fair value gap here. That was holding all of this price action. And if that was a bull flag, that's false. This should act as bearish inversion in here on NQ. Well. Well. Give me a second. Right, I just made a relog, but did I do it on the correct one? Yeah. All right. So yeah, there is an idea that this is a macro and that this should act as inversion for value gap, right? Let me see. Let me see. So yeah, the idea would need to look something like this. More or less. Because price should not come back into this fair value gap in here. That should stay open as a breakaway gap. Why? Because we had all of this balanced price range consolidation in here. So this is more like a blink that it should start running. Then this was the inversion fair value gap. I mean, this was the actual fair value gap that was holding all of this price action here. But as we went below it, it should act as inversion fair value gap very well. And obviously the sell side liquidity is here. But with this type of entry and risk to reward, I would be well ahead of it. I will be done way ahead of it. So I like the idea. I like the idea here. After all of this slurp initially, doing this, going into the macro and attacking the sell side here makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we get. There is also a SIBI going through this inversion fair value gap, which I like as additional confluence to the mix. But yeah, the main thing is that this should not be closed. We could, worst case, we could tap into it, yes, but it should not trade to the high of it or close it. If it does, then obviously I'm incorrect about this whole idea here. Which, yeah, apparently I am. So, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I suppose I tricked myself again into thinking that I supposedly know what the price should do in here, but then the price proved me quickly wrong, which I guess is it's a fair deal inside this type of conditions. Maybe I was too aggressive about it or thinking too fast forward. But yeah, what can I say? I guess I started another losing streak that eventually I will need to end it. So yeah. Well. Nonetheless, I still like the idea of the price seeking the sell side here potentially. But yeah, maybe it would be more preferred to tap into the buy side liquidity here first. And then if it would break, then that would be more trustworthy. Or yeah, or I just traded the wrong session of the day. But yeah, nonetheless, this is it for today's trading. I will take a rest, I guess. I will take a little bit of a rest and And yeah, I will review this later. I will watch this, what it will do eventually, but I'm definitely getting a little bit cooked. But yeah, that was my idea, my decision to take it. Was it too aggressive? Was it unnecessarily after the fact? Maybe, or probably, but still, I will have to deal with it. It's not end of the world, but yeah, still kind of annoying, right? Kind of annoying. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, I guess. Uh, Thanks for being uh with me during my struggle a little bit. Let's still stay positive and think that I'll bounce back, and the better days will come sooner than later. And yeah, kudos to you guys, and see you guys tomorrow with the London Open session. And yeah, damn it, interesting, but yeah, nonetheless, I gotta swallow it, and I gotta reset my mind. So thanks for watching nonetheless, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.